If you love collecting and reading comic books as much as I do, you're in the right place. Sit back, buckle up, get ready for the next hour. We're going to talk about some DC. We're going to talk about a DC cover. We're going to talk about some Star Wars books. We're going to talk about some indies. And you're in the right place. You're amongst friends. Once again, welcome back, everybody. Happy new comic book day. I'm your host, Comic Man Andy, tonight. Just coming off a great Show Me What You Got with the comic vet and everybody over there having a blast. Like we said, we're going to talk about a DC cover. We're going to talk about some Star Wars books. And we have got a massive pull list this week that almost exceeded $300. But we didn't pay that. We'll talk about that for a minute. We'll do what we usually do. The chat will roll in. We'll hit up the chat. We'll say hi to everybody. We'll go over the books. We'll talk about news and announcements. We'll even talk about a couple of covers in specific. We're going to share with you guys how we feel about some of the new books this week and how to watch out for some FOMO, right? And what you can do to keep some money back in your pocket, because don't follow the FOMO and don't overpay for books, especially on New Comic Book Day. As the chat starts rolling in here, we had some tailgaters tonight. We had some new faces already. Actual Van Helsing says, if he shows, let me know. I am tickled pink that Actual Van Helsing stopped in, and we'll see actually who else shows up tonight. Looking forward to that. We got GT Key Comic hanging out with us as per the usual. Great to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Wheelchair Superhero is in the chat. Hi, all. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you. I wish YouTube would send me the notifications for when you go live. I don't know. Like we've talked about plenty of times, man. YouTube's broken. It is so broken. TM Nerdy in the house station, brother. Good to see you. Happy new comic book day. Friends, family, and collectors. Absolutely. Who else did we have hanging out? Backwoods Collector says, hey, what is up? Thanks for being here. Great talking to you on the Show Me What You Got. And we're going to go over the books that we shared over there and talk a little bit about some books that we steered away from the FOMO on and where you guys can save some money tonight. Come on, Mama's in the house. The best looking Comic Man Andy cosplay you could ever ask for from Zuni, and the best Skef cosplay ever coming from Come On Mama. Good to see you as well. Comic Book Therapy, one of the best names in the comic book universe. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Izzyverse, New York City Comics. What is going on? Thanks for being here. Good to see you again over on this side of YouTube. Thanks for being here. If I didn't already say that. And leading off with a pitch hit or a bunt. No, it's definitely not a bunt. Definitely getting on base here tonight is Zuni with a $5 Zuni with a $5 super chat. Zuni with a $5 super chat. This is a great time to talk about how the year of 2023 is my tongue falling all over the place is the year of the comic community. All ad revenue, all super chats, everything the channel earns goes right back into comic books that are being given away to the comic book community at the all year. Actually, you know, we're not just going to wait to the end of the year, but everything the channel makes is going to sit in the account at the end of the year. Words are really hard. At the end of the year, we are going to buy a couple of graded comic books, as many graded comic books as we can buy to give away at the end of the year for like a big end of the year celebration. But every Friday that we do a blind CGC unboxing here live on YouTube, somebody in the live chat for that unboxing will win a graded comic book from the graded comic book community giveaway box, because we've got some announcements about that too. And I can't wait to see what happens this Friday. Everyone else, fist bump. Yes, word are definitely difficult tonight as more people roll into the chat. I don't know about the rest of you guys. It takes me a solid minute or two to warm up. That's just me. That's just the way it is. Words are hard. Mojo Quid, what is up? Hola, peeps. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Sticks Boy, good to see you as well. CMA in the house. We got to lubricate the tongue, the old tongue, so that we can talk. Hey, Mojo. Yeah, let's get into the books as more people roll in. 2017, something like that. Numbers watching live. Appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are the greatest thing about this all day, every week when we talk comic books, as this channel would be nothing without you guys. This channel is all about you guys and the comic books that you are reading that I'm being a goofball and not picking up. So as we roll down these books, don't forget to mention the books that you're reading and you're picking up, and you can say, Andy, you're a doofus for not reading that book. Because we do have a DC book. Where's House of L Comics? We have a DC books. We're 2 for 2 last week and this week. You know we had to go a straight cover buy. I've been really good about not cover buying or not over cover buying. Yes, I cover buy for Star Wars. Star Wars is a guilty pleasure. But how do you leave behind a 1 in 25 Action Comics 1053 right there? Sergi cover, awesome cover. Now, this is a straight gut reaction purchase. $19.99 for a 1 in 25. And I just always hear people talking about these kind of covers, and they always seem to do well over time. Now, what do we want to do, right? If we're collecting and reading comic books, we want our collection to be worth something, right? At least cover price, if not more. Granted, a lot of the books that we buy end up being dollar books at the end of the day because we get our value out of it in a different fashion as far as reading and enjoying the artwork. That's how a lot of us draw value from that too. But at the end of the day, we also do want to see our collections grow in value. So this was a knee-jerk kind of gut reaction to just grab a copy for $20 as the retailer exclusive for this, the twin pack that was being sold on KRS Comics' website and I believe the artist's website were sold out and not available even yesterday, or sold out. And I don't even want to talk about how much people are asking for that set on eBay. Well over $100 for a $20 set is being asked well over $100 on eBay. That's some straight up FOMO. Give it some time. I'm going to be taking another look for those that set or those books in a few months' time to see if it comes down in the price, see if it gets back towards that $20 old bundle price from KRS Comics. And you never know, maybe KRS only is letting out limited amounts. I don't know KRS that well, but I'm certainly going to be keeping an eye on their website. So this is a knee-jerk gut reaction. I have not been reading Action Comics, but I wanted to pick this up because I kind of want to see where this goes going forward in the future. Hawaiian Punch is in the chat. Ferd Bird the Nerd, you want to talk about keeping an eye on comic books, make sure that you guys are following Ferd Bird the Nerd on Instagram for all of his market reports that he posts. I absolutely enjoy those all the time on break at work and scrolling through, and I can always find one or two from him, and more often than not, I'm finding something that I'm interested in. I appreciate the update, kind of the market report updates that Ferd Bird does. Everybody in the chat, make sure if you are a content creator on either Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or anywhere, make sure you're hitting up a moderator and sharing your link in the chat so that people can follow you guys live as we go. I unfortunately don't get enough time on Tuesdays to be a part of the Grow Together Tuesdays movement, but we definitely want to help grow the community when we're going live. That means we are old school style. Back in the day when YouTube used to let you click the button and follow somebody direct from the chat, we're going gangster style, and we're dropping links in the chat for everybody to follow everybody for their channels and help grow the community and help find content and content creators that you like and enjoy. So don't hesitate to drop your links, especially for our man Izzy versus NYC Comics. We're going to drop that link in the chat here for Izzy for his YouTube channel. Hawaiian Punch, what is up, man? Shihu, good to see you. Collectors, there are some DC and Marvel covers that sometimes make you wish I was. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. There it is. There's the Instagram. No, there's the YouTube link, I believe. Is that Ferd Bird? Make sure you're following that link there. In fact, I'll just click it over there to double check and triple check. That is for loading. Hawaiian Punch. That is the link for Hawaiian Punch. Make sure you guys are following Hawaiian Punch. Back in the day, YouTube used to just throw different links. Now that you can consolidate a channel, not consolidate a channel, you can request a shortened, well, not like hyphenated, but shortened YouTube link that'll have your channel name at the end of that also. So as YouTube continues to streamline that makes it easy to find out whose link is what. There is the YouTube link for Backwoods Collector there as well. Make sure you're following Backwoods. Appreciate you as well. Follow his YouTube and his Instagram, Ferd Bird the Nerd. All you gotta do is copy paste. You can copy paste the names off of YouTube, put them right in the search, and there's the link for Ferd Bird see, tongue tied. Ferd Bird the Nerd. No, that's Backwoods. I thought there it is. There's the Ferd Bird the Nerd link right there. Thank you. Come on, mama. Come on, mama. Working overtime with Zuni down there and the mini CEO. There is the Izzyverse's link right there. Make sure you're following Izzyverse for sure. As we continue to get into these books, don't hesitate to share your channel links. And anybody out there that's got anything big going on as far as a giveaway, shout it out in the chat. If you've got a giveaway going on, or if you've got a weekly show going on where you are looking for other guests and other hosts, don't be afraid to talk about it in the chat. That's why we're here. That's why we bring the community together to talk about that stuff as we continue to go on the books. That's just the one DC book. You know, I always browse through the DC section to look at what jumps out of me. Unfortunately, my LCS had no copies of It's Jeff. I really wanted to grab It's Jeff to check that out because it looked super fun. Izzyverse was the only person over on Show Me What You Got on the Comic Vets channel that had a copy of It's Jeff that I can remember. And I was kind of sad that I didn't have any at the LCS. So there's the DC book. We're going to get more into DC. I know somebody else out there in the community was talking about GCPD, and I definitely was interested in reading that. I don't know if it's on issue 4, issue 5, but I felt like I can get caught up on that before the next one comes out. I won't be able to talk about that series tonight because I haven't started getting into it, but I definitely want to be caught up and add that to the pull list later. Member giveaway with original art and signed Jim Lee posters from Izzyverse NYC Comics. So make sure you guys are following Izzyverse for a great giveaway there. Share some love and smash the like button. Thank you, Captain Comics. What a nice arm. That's the second time you said that tonight. What do you mean, what a nice arm? Well, whose arm? What arm are we talking about? Is there something in the chat? Oh, are you talking about my arm? Okay. The Jackalhead, there you go. There's the link. The Jackalhead link right there is for Captain Comics. Make sure you're following Captain Comics for one of the funniest guys out there. Absolutely hit that like button. Ahoy, Captain. Now you have an extra copy. I'm going to put it in the giveaway. He's going to throw an extra copy of It's Jeff in the giveaway right there. There's TM Nerdy's channel. Come on, Mama, working overtime tonight with the links. Arm, he says, question mark. Yes. Hey, Express, good to see you. Thanks for coming back. It's Wednesday. We're getting into the books. We showed the DC book. Now Star Wars is out. Multiple titles for Star Wars are out this week. The High Republic issue 7 is out. Cover A. We're gonna go through them quick because we like to go through the books 2 times. We've already been live for 12 minutes. The variant for High Republic issue 7, then the 1 in 25. I do like the way the 1 in 25 looks. A decent looking cover. Adding that, especially for when you see the price tag below ratio. I'm a big advocate of, if you're collecting Star Wars books and you want to buy the ratio variants and you want to be you want to collect all covers, all copies, kind of like a completionist collector, I'm not going to hesitate when something's below ratio, because remember, back in the day and ages, even before COVID and before things got really crazy with the market, ratio books used to sell at ratio prices. And oftentimes when books didn't move, they would go below ratio. And whenever you can find a ratio comic book for well under ratio on New Comic Book Day, that's a win in my opinion, regardless of whether or not it's a key. If it's a solid cover and it's a solid story with a solid fandom behind it and it's well below ratio, yeah, I'm definitely going to be picking that up. High Republic, The Blade has been a fun read. I do kind of wish it was a little bit better, but hey, I say that a lot of times on everything that I read. I'm like, man, I wanted a little bit more. Man, I wanted a little bit more. If something's left me wanting a little bit more, it's a pretty decent read. If you're reading Star Wars, I would read High Republic, The Blade. Issue 4 is out. I've been told that it was a good read. And of course, Peach Momoko is doing covers again, and we'll talk more about Peach Momoko in a second here. The Women's History Month variant. We've got the interesting, Marvel may have not scheduled things very well. I didn't realize this was a Black History Month variant, which is great. Just Black History Month was last month, and this month's almost over. Hey, come on, Marvel, what's going on? I loved the Black History Months for Star Wars. The way they did the colors and the way these artists, I don't know if it's the same artist doing everyone. It feels like it, just the way the colors are on the background and everything. But I've enjoyed them quite a bit. But yeah, Black History Month was last month. Squeaking it in, he says. High Republic, The Blade, issue 4. This variant cover I did like quite a bit. Did like this one quite a bit. This is probably one that's going to end up in the go to CGC pile. The 1 in 25 was at ratio, surprisingly, for The Blade. That tells me that more people are looking for it, more people are reading it than, say, the standard High Republic series. I know my LCS oftentimes will look at online prices of ratio variants before they price their own. And if they can't find anything, they usually price it at ratio or below ratio, depending on how many people are pulling the series. So the Blade at ratio for 25. moving along there. You are most welcome, Captain. Hey, Rob, good to see you even stopped watching Mando to come here. Oh, my Lord, please. Nobody in the chat, please hold back the Mandalorian spoilers. We are watching it just after this. I heard it was a banger of an episode. And yeah, that's exactly why we're here while we're talking comic books and you guys are sharing what comic books I shouldn't be missing. Don't be afraid to share links and help build the community to find other content and content creators that you are looking for. Like Wheelchair Superhero is a much bigger DC reader than I am. So if you're a massive DC fan, you definitely want to be subscribed to Wheelchair Superhero for sure. Don't miss out on his live content there. But we're going to keep moving along and we're going to keep hitting up the chat as we go. Zuni got me a sketch. Yes, there you go. Pro tip sketchbook. Come on, Mom and Zuni, go to C2E2. That's coming up in the announcements here in a little bit, but make sure you have a sketchbook if you're going to convention, even if it's not a super expensive one. Buy what you can afford to make sure you don't miss out on any of the good memories. Glenn, good to see you. Thanks for being here. There you go. There's the channel drop. Thank you, sir. Where did we leave off? Solo Wookie in the chat. Yes, so another one of those Star Wars fans I love seeing in the comic community. I think it's the same artist they just had on the other hand. Same but different. Same but different. Yeah, so many. Just notice it looks like Drew. Okay, it looks like Drew's. There you go. Subscribe to Wheelchair Superhero. Furdbird says, there you go. Everybody make sure you subscribe to Furd and Wheelchair. Especially if you're a DC reader, make sure you check out Wheelchair Superhero. A great day for Star Wars for sure. Absolutely. And we've got the 2-episode season finale of Bad Batch out today, right? Absolutely. There you go. Solo, he says. So back onto the books. Jabba's Palace is out. So this is out, and I was kind of excited when I heard about this. I'm like, okay, this could be really cool. I want to read this. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a one-shot or an ongoing series, but it's listed as issue 1, telling me it's going to be either an ongoing or a mini series. I haven't gotten that deep into it. I always love the anniversary variants, especially when you get to the black border ones like these. Now, this is a hint little preview of a ratio variant coming up because, of course, Marvel, instead of doing a completely new cover for a high ratio variant, they just reused some art. But while you guys are talking in the chat, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It helps out the channel quite a bit. Now, Peach Momoko is back. And Jabba's Palace issue 1 for the Peach Momoko, the Women's History Month. This is probably one of the best Peach Momoko covers I've seen in a while. This camera's not going to do it justice. Lots of details in the boots comparatively, when I'm saying comparatively to Peach Momoko's other work, lots of detail in the helmet, the boots. This is a good looking Peach Momoko cover. I'm not buying these covers because I'm a fan of Peach Momoko. I'm buying these covers because I'm a fan of Star Wars. And this is hands down one of the best Peach Momoko covers I've seen in recent memory within the last few months. Now, granted, there are some banger Peach Momoko covers out there, but I can count them on one hand, essentially. This is a really good Peach Momoko cover. I love how this turned out. I don't know if it's the amount of time that's being put in. I don't know. It's just night and day difference sometimes with some of the Peach Momoko covers. Maybe it's just the medium of watercolors is much harder to work with when it comes to details like that. And maybe it's the requirements that Marvel is putting on her. Either way, you want to talk about great artists and great artwork and great covers. Is I butcher this name every time, but the Jabba's Palace 1 in 25 actually it went for over ratio at my LCS, but I couldn't leave it sit there. I could not leave this Maleev variant sitting there at all. This is a killer Boba Fett cover, all white. These are going to be difficult to get in high grade, especially with the way shippers ship comic books. This is going to probably require a little bit of cleaning. This one was really good looking, but $30, and that was still below eBay prices that I had seen earlier today before I went to the LCS. So I was like, yeah, I would rather pay less like everybody else, but I am for sure keeping this and adding this to the pile of books that I want to get graded. This is just going to look good. I know there's talk online about this is a key of a week with Jim Comics, and there's a first appearance or maybe several first appearances. I haven't read the issue yet. I do kind of read some spoilers online. There's plenty of avenues to check out online where people get their books earlier in the day and read them in post. Now, I want to warn you guys and provide a little bit of caution to the wind. I love this cover. I'm going to enjoy this. But let's talk about the 1 in 100, right? Let's talk about let me get on the old website. Because the 1 in 100 seems a little odd the way this is being priced online. And I want to talk about this because I want to bring attention to a book that you probably don't want to pick up the first week of release. And we don't pay enough time or attention as a community to collectively together throwing up warning flags when we said, hey, maybe we should pump the brakes here and not pick up this book. I know that books are exciting, especially certain variants. And if I could find it here, we are just going to go ahead and share our screen as we look for this so that it doesn't look like I'm staring at thin air. But yeah, we are on League of Comic Geeks really quick as we get towards the end of the books here, and we are looking for Jabba's Palace right here. There we go. Cover A. They are already going to a second printing. So either the covers and the variants weren't shown before FOC and it wasn't ordered very heavily and it's being pushed to a second printing immediately. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm hoping it's a really good read, but I am super stoked for the connecting variants. The connecting variants look like they're going to be absolutely dope. Way better than some of the other connecting variants that I've seen. But this is the 1 in 100. I like the artwork. I enjoy the cover, but again, it ended up being final art. Don't let this fool you. This is the final art for the 1 in 100. All they did is rehash artwork from part of cover A. It's not bad artwork, but it's laziness on Marvel's part, in my opinion, and slapped it out as a 1 in 100. A 1 in 100 for an offshoot story of Star Wars that has a couple of first appearances in it, or one at least that I've heard of characters that could potentially not really matter in time. Don't pay $100 or $200 for this book. Please give it 2 to 3 months. Don't overpay for this book. My LCS priced it at $100. I did not pick it up. One, because it had damage to it. It had a couple of spine ticks, and the bottom corner actually had a little bit of a fold on it. I was very seriously considering, like, hey, I'm a Star Wars collector. I do want to pick up these books on New Comic Book Day, but $100 for this is what my LCS was asking for, because one of the last sales on eBay was like $170 on eBay, but it's only one sale, and a couple of the pre-order sales were around ratio around $99.99. But now people are pricing the book extremely higher on their websites. There are other websites out there that had the book listed like $260, $270, and they're saying sold out, like it's not available anywhere. This could just be a product of supply versus demand. Demand is probably a lot higher now than it ever will be. Demand for this book will just trickle right off, in my opinion. This book is not going to be a book that's going to be highly sought after. As far as this is just my gut feeling and my gut instinct I'm sharing with you guys, is I'm pumping the brakes on this. I'm not buying this until several months from now, because I feel like I should be able to get a CGC 9.8 book copy of this graded for $100 6 months from now. $100 for 6 months. So why would I pay $100 for a raw copy and run the risk? And Ferdbird says press it. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But 2 of the spine ticks on the book were certainly color breaking. And it's just at that point, it's not worth paying $100 for a book that I'm fairly certain is going to come back a 9.4. And at that point, on a modern book that's going to cool off in 6 to 8 weeks, by the time I get it back from grading, pressing, cleaning, and grading, I have $100 for the book. Then I've got $50 in press, clean, grade, ship there, ship back, so on and so forth. So I'm $150 into a book that's now probably worth $70 to $80 as a 9.4. That's just not a good maneuver, or not a good move for me or my collection. So what I'm saying is, based on my experiences and my gut feeling, I empowering you guys to pump the brakes and say, hey, don't go pay $100 for this book. A lot of you guys are going to probably agree and sit and wait it out on this if you are looking for this book. And I know that a 1 in 100 for a Star Wars book that nobody was talking about this. Nobody was talking about this book. Probably didn't get ordered very heavily. That doesn't necessarily mean that demand is going to outpace supply over the next 6 months to a year. So that's my opinion on that 1 in 100. I don't know if really anybody else was talking about it. We talked a little bit about it on Comic News Weekly last night. I, for one, am in agreement with McClay and the other guys from the last night's show. This is the best Star Wars cover of the week, the Malee variant. So this 1 in 25 is absolutely dope. And asking prices for this are hair above ratio. But I want to remind you guys, make sure you're watching JP Budget's Collecting YouTube channel for the content, and he sees are they still hot. Like he does that 6-month look back to see what happens with books, and JP's got a really good rule with ratio variants. A ratio variant needs to get to like double ratio and hold there and go a little bit higher, if I remember correctly, is his rule, for it to even hold fast or be steadfast and stay there in its value. Any ratio variants on New Comic Book Day or modern ratio variants that drop that don't hold that double ratio mark fall right back down to ratio and below later on in time. And some of it's supply and demand, some of it's oversupply and not enough demand, and some of it is the demand will never be there for a book, even if it's underprinted. If the demand's never going to be there, the value will never be there. So don't overpay for New Comic Book Day variants, ratio variants. I'm working really hard to change my own outlook on that instead of like, I want it, need it, gotta have it like right now kind of feeling, because that's a form of FOMO. But I'm ordering these books, I'm ordering these ratio variants well ahead of seeing covers. I'm utilizing previews when I flip through this and I see Star Wars this. Oftentimes I don't even read the synopsis of the Star Wars book. I just add it and order it. So it's like, it's not necessarily, chalk it up to maybe 10% FOMO. I'm pre-ordering these books and previews 3 months in advance with my LCS before I even see the covers. Then when the covers come in, if they're in really good shape and I think the price is fair, I'm definitely going to grab them. Sometimes I sit there for half an hour at my LCS debating about, do I really want to pay $50 for this 1 in 50 or $50 for this 1 in 75 or whatever? I do that, and I sit there and I kind of debate, and we'll hit up the chat here in just a minute. Last couple of books rounding out the night. Issue 5 for Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. I will probably drop this after issue 6. I think it's fun. I think it's a little bit different. I think it's a little quirky. I like the quirky style of art. I enjoy that quite a bit, but I just don't know that it just, where is it going to go long term? I don't think it's going to be a long-term series that I'm really going to be itching to read every month. I just completely forgot about it until I saw it for this month. Something's Killing the Children issue 30 is out. Talk about issues or series that you're just kind of wondering if you're going to stick with. This was one where we had all covers, all copies, all printings ordered with my LCS all the time, constantly. And now this is the first month that the issues have dropped for Something's Killing the Children, where we did not receive all of them, not simply because we didn't order them, but because our LCS didn't bother to order them, because not enough people are asking for the book anymore. Now we got the unlockable variant, we've got the blue background variant, and we got the Kirkham 1 in 25, which I think this is the best cover out of the group, personally, in my opinion. I absolutely love it. At $19.99, it's just a hair under ratio for my LCS. But when your LCS says, hey, we're just not ordering anymore, that tells me, one, the book's no longer returnable. Now, I know that phrase returnable was thrown around for quite a long time, but there have been books that with Boom for my LCS that they were ordering. That's like, then they gotta be returnable. There's not that many people ordering them in their pull list. This time around, the LCS said, nay, we're just not gonna order that many. So we didn't see the 1 in 100, which I did like. I don't remember the artist's name, but it was like in the style of Jenny Frison. I liked it, but I wasn't about to pay another $100 for another ratio variant for a series that just don't think that specific issue or that arc has the oomph to carry that money. I don't want to throw money in the fireplace, much like everybody else. And now that some of these series are becoming more seasoned, that's where it kind of like people either aren't going to stick with it, or even if they do stick with it, what are the writers and the creators going to do differently to keep it interesting and keep it playful? And then you get to issue 30, and what kind of key books are you going to see as far as first appearances? They got to do a spinoff. They got to do something major in that series to kind of spicing it up or liven it up. But those are the books, a fairly decent stack. We spent more than what we wanted to, but we did not spend the $300 that we were originally facing. I think we rounded out about $150, and we've been averaging close to $50 a week for some time now. And it just so happens that all the Star Wars issues and Something Is Killing the Children drop all on the same day again. So yeah, that's the reason for the big bump up on New Comic Book Day today. That's all right. I do kind of keep a little bit of rainy day money stashed away for this, just in case of essentially a New Comic Book Day emergency, because I don't want to order something and then not buy it or pay for it after the fact. Now, if something shows up damaged, then that's different. Hence, the 1 in 100 today did show up damaged. from the Jabba's Palace 1 in 100. But yeah, let's hit up the chat again really quick. We are already 30 minutes in. No spoilers for The Mandalorian, please, tonight. We are going to be watching that very shortly here. I know at about 9:30 there is more content coming on. Guess That Key over at Sector 218 is going on. Mark, Legion of Comics, and some other great guests are going to be over there, so you don't want to miss that. A great day for Star Wars for sure. I sub everyone in the chat, but Andy always talking about Saga. Speaking of that, where the hell is the next issue of Saga? I hope they're not on another break. I do not want to go through another long Saga break. Jabba's Palace is a fun read with some first appearances. I definitely want to get into that. Tonight was one of those nights where I was late leaving the workplace, late getting to the LCS, late getting home. I got home just in time for dinner to sit down with the family, and just enough time to unwind down here with the Comic Vet and the friends over there at Show Me What You Got for New Comic Book Day, right into this show tonight after bagging and boarding the books. Agree on the Peach book. Yeah, a lot of those Peach covers I just don't know, and it's because they're out for cover price and I get 25% off or 20% off, so why not just complete that run of books for the week and then move along? You know what I mean? That's just me. It's just cover buying, and I cover buy Star Wars stuff too much. When she does a full pinup, they are awesome. Yes, I think it's just the amount of time that goes into each piece, and I don't feel like Marvel gives her what she needs to pump out really, really high quality covers. It is a nice cover. Wishbone White. Yeah, absolutely. That Milady. That one is going to be a tough one to get in high grade if any of those get any dirt on them. You paid 30 for mine too. Way worth it. Sharp looking cover. Yeah, it's excellent Boba Fett cover. Not only is there the Star Wars fandom out there, but there's a massive group of collectors that collect just Boba Fett books and just Boba Fett covers. That's one for sure for the Boba Fett fan. That's why we love the show. Yes, we have to help each other out. Absolutely. Grow the community. Like I said, I wish I had more time on Tuesday to be a part of the Grow Together movement with Gary B, the casual comic guy, and everybody else out there, TM Nerdy, Mark, the Legion of Comics, Burke, for everybody out there that's in the community. He says $50. We have to help each other out. $50 make you holler. I mean, he says press it. Yeah, no, it just wasn't worth the time, and I wasn't going to lowball an offer on a book that I was fairly certain was going to be a 9.4, maybe a 9.6 at best. It's just not worth the time. It's not worth the work. At some point, your comic book collecting hobby will become work if you let it spiral out of control. And that's where I said nay on that book, because I don't want it to become work. I want it to just be hobby. Yep, don't buy it. They take advantage of us Star Wars fans because we buy everything. Wait for it. Absolutely, Cosmic One. Wait for it. 6 to 9 months, $80 CGC 9.8, and $15 raw. I don't know that I've ever seen a 1 in 100 drop that low. I could see it being like a $40 or $50 book raw if nobody cares about it in 9 months time, 10 months time, or something like that. And I mean, even minor first appearances, or even a first appearance of a minor secondary character in a Star Wars book, isn't terrible over time. They're not great, but I mean, when you start getting into high ratio variants, that's where there are people that specifically go out to collect high ratio variant comic books of first appearances, regardless if it's the janitor in the closet or if it's a Superman spinoff or something like that. There are people that hunt just specifically those, because I tell you what, that's why we don't find 1 in 100s of first appearances just lying around anywhere at a comic book convention in dollar bins or low cost bins or anything like that. Financially, it doesn't sound like a sound move. That's where I'm at. I bet the Bounty Hunter will show up in the Bounty Hunter series. You know, I didn't even think about that today. That's a possibility, but I think you know the average window of something like that being in a comic book and then hitting the screen 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever the average window is. I'm just throwing that out, seeing what sticks to the wall. But that window is so far down the road that there are plenty of opportunities to buy in the dip on that book. But that's pretty interesting. I didn't even think about that. Seeming how Boba Fett is coming into the fold. That Boba book will be going for 120 plus, which is stupid as the same covers. Yeah, exactly. And there are people on eBay asking for way more than that. It's just because somebody's asking $200 for a 1 in 100 doesn't mean it's worth $200 for sure. JLS Comics. Speaking of great comic book content out there, make sure you guys are following and subscribe to JLS Comics. Hoarders Hide, more great content. Another great member of the community. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Yes, JLS Hyde. There's JLS Comics YouTube link right there. Follow them along. Yes, agree. Unless you really want to avoid the FOMO, buy wisely. The price will drop. The demand for a lot of ratio variant books on New Comic Book Day is the highest it will ever be. I want to say like 80+% of high ratio variant books released on New Comic Book Day. The demand is the highest on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that week of New Comic Book Day. Just give it some time. Just give it some time. Prices will drop. If they don't drop, that's the one that we're all kind of like hoping we don't miss out on, right? Let's be fair. A little bit of all of us as a comic book collector have our favorite characters, have our favorite reads, and we don't want to miss that one book, that one book, and that's why the secondary market exists the way it does. So you do have to gamble a little bit about, hey, I'm not going to follow the FOMO here, but if the book does take off later on, then you have to make peace with that, right? You do have to make peace with that. So then you look to buy in the dip. That's why members of the comic book community like myself, we want to talk about that. And one of these days, I'll get my stuff in gear and get together, and we'll do a series on this channel where we talk about buying in the dip, or we talk about building a collection as affordably as possible for the stuff that's out there that you have to turn to the secondary market. You have to trade for. You have to look to the community to build those portions of your collection. Either way, that's something in the future we'll talk about. Yes, there's Hoarder's Hide link as well. Make sure you're following him. This was the last issue of Once Upon. Oh, it was. They're only going 5 issues. Interesting. Did they just? Was it meant to be something a little bit longer, and then just the sales weren't great? Maybe they just cut it off. I'll look into that. Let me know if you know. I cut my finger while I was chopping cheese, but I think I have greater. Oh God. Oh, I fell for it, Mama. That joke was great. I'll often overpay if I know it's strictly a personal collection piece I extremely want and don't have any interest in financial movement, which is honestly 99% of my collecting. I agree with Backwoods here. You guys over the years have seen me have some crazy ass like berserker new comic book day pickups where the tab was $400+. I mean, we plan on that ahead of time and save up money ahead of time for those big releases. But I'll be honest with you guys, there's a how much of that have I spent and how much of that is really what is there in value in the collection now. It's not. And then to see some of that value, you have to do grading. So you have to go further into some of the books, grading and pressing and cleaning to even realize some of that value. So a lot of times your collection my collection isn't worth anywhere near what I wish it could be, but that's my personal collection. That's how I'm choosing to pick up the books, because now I don't have to pay for shipping. I don't have to worry about a book getting damaged in shipping, especially when you're going to the secondary market and some eBay sellers are terrible with how they ship. I would much rather purchase from a comic community member that I know who's going to ship well, because we've all worked on that over the 4 or 5 years that I've been part of the comic book community on shipping better and teaching others to ship better. I look tired. I am tired. I think I got maybe 3 hours of sleep last night. I don't know if it's the full moon coming out or what, but the dogs were up and down, pacing, waking us up. And honestly, being the dad of a 6-year-old, not every night is going to be great. And sometimes you're going to get woken up at 3 a.m. That's what happened last night. At 3 a.m. got woken up. That's the way it is. Some days you're going to be tired. Some days you're going to be rested. Vintage Comics and Toys, what's up? But just because I'm tired doesn't mean I don't want to talk comic books and hang out. We did unplug last weekend to play the Diablo 4 beta and take a break from comic books for a couple of days, but we were back on the track for this week. Shinobi Fufu, this colonoscopy tomorrow has me flushed. Oh, God. Oh, that's shitty. Awesome joke. God. Andy, you will enjoy my CGC unboxing when I do it. I got 4. I hate you and love you at the same time, brother. Yeah, because if you guys have been watching the blind CGC unboxings on this channel, CGC has been beating the living daylights out of our books. And I'm not joking when I say that books are getting damaged in the grading process while they're being handled before they even get to final grading and encapsulating. We're seeing finger bends at the top where the books are being pulled in and out of the bag for whatever processing. And you guys have done it when you pull a book out and you press a little too hard and you get a finger bend here on the front and the back. And then when I unbox a book that has that bend clearly on it, that was not there when I sent it, that tells me that a new grader at CGC rough handled the book and then it got graded. And then I get a 9.0 for it. And it's like, that's just, It shouldn't be like that, but that's why CGC has the fine print and why you accept all of the risk. Going back and getting refunds for these things is like pulling teeth from a T-Rex. It's insane. Yep, wheelchair superhero. Hey Scott, people still pushing first Sabi. Really interesting. What's the difference between deer nuts and beer nuts? Beer nuts are $2, but deer nuts are under $1. God, I'd rather spec on a character getting their own comic series. Yeah, that's why when building a collection, one of the things we talk about is first appearances, second appearances, first solo titles, some anniversary issues. But then the first solo series is something that's still not talked about a lot. Like seasoned people that are buying books know that when a first solo series of a character comes out, they're going to grab a couple copies for their collection, right? But a larger portion of the community when we talk about New Comic Book Day, nobody's really talking about that often. Like you might hear a couple of people say news wise, like, it's the first solo series, but nobody talks about the potential for the first solo series of any new major characters in comic books going forward. That's like people are paying attention to what's happened in the past. We're trying to skate where the puck is going to be. So that's a really good comment. I'd rather spec on the character getting their own comic series going forward, and if you can find stuff affordably in the past for first solo titles. Check out Rob Stack's packing video for shipping comics. Yes, we have one on our channel as well on how to pack and ship raw comic books. We haven't done a video for a slab because there's a gazillion different ways to pack a slab. There are several different ways to pack raw comic books, but I feel there are only about 5 or 6 really solid ways to pack comic books. Many members of the community have covered that, but I like that new members of the community coming in are creating that content and rehashing it because that's how we discover new and better ways to do it. I had a book damage at CGC. It was Marvel Preview 95. Ooh. That's rough, man. That's rough, but that's happening every week, and I'm afraid to open up our Ultimate Fallout 4s. The box is right over here. It's going to be this Friday as we get into announcements here very shortly. Your Daredevil 1 ended up a detached cover. Yeah. It's a bit sketch. It's a bit sketch what's going on. I don't collect Marvel, but I picked up Hallows Eve just for kicks. Nice. So now announcements is we're at the 42-minute mark. So we're going to pick up speed, pick up the pace. Announcements. Once again, we're back here for New Comic Book Day. But if you love collecting and reading comic books as much as I do, you are in the right place. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and buckle up for this comic collecting adventure and journey here with me and the other portions of the community that are available for the live streams, because that's what we love doing here is live streams. Now, that means Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday. We take Thursday nights off in preparation for Friday nights and several other things. This Friday is going to be a live CGC unboxing on the channel. Now, remember, I promised you guys it was going to be last Friday, but many things outside of my control happened that led me to need to take an opportunity to unplug and reset and spend some time with my family and spend some time on myself. And I know that you guys would appreciate that as much as I appreciate that myself. So we're back and we're doing it this Friday. It's going to be a blind unboxing, and somebody in the chat that's going to be here live is going to win a graded comic book from the comic book community giveaway box. And that means we're on to announcement number 2 about that. Snizzle Pop, who won the last giveaway, sneaky, got the return address and sent back a box of slabs to add to the community box. So Snizzle Pop sent 3 graded comic books back and said, please add these to the community giveaway box. We will show those this Friday, so be here to see what Snizzle Pop added. Congratulations to him for winning that first appearance of Dr. Aphra CGC graded book, one of my favorite books to collect and one of my favorite books to hunt for. Absolutely. And that means then we'll roll into next week like normal. Monday nights, we've been taking Monday nights off because the Last of Us season is over. But the guys and I really want to come back and talk about the video game series and the potential going forward for season 2. And potentially a season 3. So we'll see what happens there. Yes, self-care isn't very important. Is very important. Don't forget to take care of yourselves and your family members and your pets, because all we have is us and a very limited amount of time on this world. And that is a for sure thing. So we will go back over the books very quickly for people showing up on the tail end. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button while you're here hanging out as we rapid fire the 1 in 25 Kirkman for Something is Killing the Children. I absolutely love this. One of these days, I'm going to dig out the Something is Killing the Children collection, and we are going to start picking out all the books we want to send to CGC. This is going to be one of them. The unlockable variant also landed right there. We've got, what are we calling this one? I don't know what to call this one. Just the bloody face variant. This one is really cool. I don't know the artist. I do like it along with a lot of other members of the community. I think that turned out really good. But I didn't look at the back of the book to see what Boom is calling it. So that's my own bad. Cover A, there we go. I'm gonna drop this down to just cover A's and probably finish the next 10 books or so, get it to issue 40 if that's where they go. If they don't end it earlier, because I heard it's kind of been slow. It's been a slow burn. I have greatly stroked the like button, Brad. Good to see you here, man. Rob says no amount of money ever bought a second of time. You are correct. Like we said, all we have is ourselves and the limited amount of time we have on this earth. So make sure you take care of yourself and your family members and your friends. And that means all of you here as well. We come here for the energy that you guys bring. And in turn, we hope that you guys get good, positive energy back. And we get this Wednesday reset to finish out the rest of the week with good, positive vibes, good energy. Because unfortunately, we're not ending, but once upon a time at the end of the world is ended with this issue. Thank you to the community member that mentioned that. Issue 5. I'd like to read that, see how that ends. But the Boba Fett collection is not ending at all with this amazing 1 in 25 Believe variant. Happy that we did not miss out on this because there were none on the shelf at the LCS when I got there. And then the best looking Peach Momoko cover that I've seen in a long time happens to be on a Star Wars book. She's had some great Turtles ones, some other ones. And I don't know if it's just the medium is that much more difficult and requires more time that she's not having trouble, but it's just Marvel wants covers out faster than I feel like the artist really could do some serious damage and work on some killer covers. I feel like if Marvel would just plan a little bit more and add a little bit more, plan better, add a little bit more time to the requirements for turning in covers, we would see a lot more quality covers coming out. Like, I'll be honest with you, I think DC is kicking Marvel's ass right now when it comes to a lot of covers and cover variants. I'm straight honest with you guys. I think Marvel sucks with a lot of their covers compared to DC. Hence why I'm starting to pick up some DC books. Jabba's Palace, the 40th anniversary variant is out. I'm not calling artist artwork sucky by any means. Art is all in the eye of the beholder, and I appreciate all the artists out there putting in all that hard work. But what I'm saying is Marvel's making some pretty shitty, sucky decisions, and it's plainly obvious when you look at DC variants and DC covers and how much better quality artists are able to put out. And I feel like that's because of the constraints that Marvel's putting on the artists that DC's probably allowing their artists to do better work with. Just a hunch, just a gut feeling and opinion. Because look at some of the Marvel books in 10 years ago. Different. I just feel like Marvel's asking unrealistic. I feel like Marvel has unrealistic expectations of artists currently. That's my opinion. I am not an artist and I'm not a professional. That's just my gut instinct. Jabba's Palace, the connecting variant. I'm looking forward to this cover series or connecting cover variant series to come together. This is going to look really cool. The Blade, High Republic, the Blade issue 25 is out right there. That one turned out pretty good. Then this variant, the cover price variant for the Blade, I actually like better than the 1 in 25, surprisingly. Well, not surprisingly, I just like it better. I think it turned out really good. Then we've got the Blade, the Black History Month, Marvel timing. Hello, Marvel. Black History Month was, so you're trying to squeak this one in a month too late, Marvel. Planning, Marvel. Seriously, Marvel, plan. Either way, still a fantastic looking cover. I love the colors. I love the shading. It looks really good. And then Creve, I can't pronounce. That's why I hold back names sometimes. Creve Tranus. And then the other Peach Momoko for the Blade. Now, see, let's do a peach by peach comparison. We're peaching it up here. Hashtag Austin over Peach. But the difference, and I think the difference is not the quality of the artist. I think the difference is the amount of time the artist is given to work on certain covers. Because this is a very different looking cover. Well, it's not very different looking. It's a very differently detailed cover. And this one has substantially less detail in it. I think it's not a question of the artist's ability. I think it's the question of the amount of time that Marvel is allowing artists to work on certain covers. And I don't know. And it's not about placing blame. I'm just making an observation here. I enjoy the Jabba's Palace variant from Peach Momoko. I think that is a phenomenal looking Peach cover. But you can see a very big difference in the output of artwork here. And I honestly think Marvel has a lot to do with that, in my opinion. But speaking of High Republic the Blade, this cover A, I love the orange in the background. That I like it when they go outside of the normal boundaries when it comes to background colors, and just makes the book jump off the shelf to me. Then the 1 in 25 for High Republic issue 7. I like this again. See, like this is how Marvel gets you. When you're walking by on the shelf, this blue and this orange jump off the shelf to me from a distance, and I'm like, ooh, catches my eye from a distance. But then we've got the cover price variant for issue 7 and the cover A for issue 7. But when we talk about covers, Backwoods Collector here was talking about being a cover collector. This was purely a gut reaction cover buy this week as we lose the screen for a second. But Action Comics 1053, the Surdsy variant here, 1 in 25 for below rate, $5 below ratio. Seemed like this was a good book to grab. This was in good enough condition to send to CGC to hopefully get a 9.8 on. So we're going to see what happens with that. Set it aside and see what happens over the next year. I don't know. We'll see. Just a pure gut reaction. I've been cutting back drastically on cover buying outside of Star Wars, and it's time to have a little bit more fun with artwork and a little bit more fun with covers that we all enjoy. And it's because I feel like this is a really good talking piece over the next couple of months to keep an eye on. That's New Comic Book Day. We're not done yet, though. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up like button. That's what we're talking about. Make sure you're a subscriber of the channel, because what we're doing is our videos that we do giveaways in. This is the other announcement that we kind of talked about. If we're doing a live giveaway for the comic book community, the only thing we ask is that you're a subscriber of the channel. If you're not, you'll know, because it won't let you converse in the chat. That's a great feature that YouTube allows to set for content creators, is that you can only chat in a live stream if you're a subscriber of the channel. Not a membership, not to be confused with membership. Subscribing to the channel costs you nothing, but you get an opportunity to win. Now, because that's the way that works, we are considering adding a membership, and I want to put out a poll, but I want to put out a poll that's not going to get forgotten about in a day. I want to bring the community together to see if we can get several hundred votes. And I'm going to spend some time talking to other community members to kind of find a date, and maybe I can help people do this. Do we want to do a membership on this channel, a low fee 99-cent membership where we do a members only giveaway once a year where we pile out all that together? If we end up with 20 members, that's $20 a month. That's a couple $100 a year where we could do a giveaway for a random drawing for members of the comic book community. I'm not sure that that's something people are interested in, because I don't have the time. Well, I wish I had more time, but my ability to put out members only content is very limited compared to what you see in a lot of the other content creators out there. And that's just me. If I had the drive to sit down and do it, I would do it. But I just don't feel like I have the technical abilities to compete with channels, and I don't want to make this competition. I'm not here to compete. I'm here to be a part of the community and help elevate other channel members or other channels and other aspects and members of the community. And I'm not here to necessarily elevate myself for this channel. This channel is always a doorway, will always be a doorway to this community. And I want to keep that doorway open, and I want to keep communication open. But I also want to make it fun too. And if people find a membership, a 99-cent per month membership fun, I'll provide that option. But I also don't want that to hinder other people from feeling like they can't be a part of the channel. So I want to be 100% inclusive. And I don't want to make this something that people don't feel included in when we sit down and talk comic books. But it would be really kind of cool. Some people are adding to like the super chats for the community giveaways. And that's Come On Mama and Zuni every week religiously. Zuni is here religiously, $5 a week. That's Zuni giving back to the community. He does not even that's not even anything that we do any sort of giveaway strictly for Zuni. Now, mind you, I'm probably going to box something up to send to Come On Mama Zuni and the mini CEO still to say thank you. But Zuni religiously is here every week giving $5 into that fund for the comic community to help pay for shipping and help pay for books to give away to the community. And we're doing our part here from our end. So it's kind of one of those things where, do we want to make it a membership with a members only giveaway and make it a little bit exclusivity for people, and then keep the channel open to everybody else for the community giveaways that are open? It's something that I want to create a poll and I really want to get feedback from a big portion of the community. I would like to create a poll and bring enough awareness to see several hundred votes, because this channel isn't about me. This channel is about you, the comic book community, and how we get together. This is my journey that I want to share with you guys. And here's where we sit by the campfire, so to speak, to talk about my portion and your portion and what we're doing in the comic book community together as a group. So I'm very curious to see what others have to say. And we'll see kind of what happens. I'll keep poking and prodding some of my friends and some content creators that have been out there for a long while. Like, I am not the next Swaggle House. I'm not a Comic Tom. I'm not a Gem Man. I'm not a professional content creator, but I want to continue to be a part of this community, be a friend of everybody out there. And I consider a lot of people in this community my own family members. So that's what I'm kind of saying is do I keep doing what I'm doing? And because I'm going to have fun doing it no matter what, but I also don't want to exclude other people and want to be 100% inclusive. So what I want to do is be able to provide options for everybody that's out there. So that's what we're looking at. And we'll look at doing kind of a poll at some point soon, but we will round it out the comments here in a moment. We will talk in the comments here and talk about C2E2 is coming up this weekend. Last announcement that I'll talk about is, unfortunately, we're not going to C2E2, and I'm going to miss my opportunity to visit Come On Mama and Zuni and the mini CEO, and I'm going to be sad about that. But I'll be honest with you guys. C2E2 last year left a bad taste in my mouth. Do I want to go back to C2E2? Yes, but right now we have some things that are happening here on the Comic Man Annie homestead that take precedence, and that $2,500, that money needs to stay here. Because let's be honest, it's $400 a night for a hotel down there in Chicago. On the cheap end, it's like $300. There's nothing cheap about going to Chicago for 4 days or 4 nights or anything like that. So just there alone, you're looking at between $1,000 and $2,000 for a hotel, depending where you go, if you want to stay 3 or 4 nights. That's expensive. That's really expensive. We're taking C2E2 off this year, which means we're going to be able to go to some smaller local conventions, but also we're going to Heroes Con in Charlotte. That is ridiculously cheap to go to, and a big portion of the comic book community is going to Heroes Con this June. I'm excited to fly down there and stay in a hotel and have fun with all of our friends and family members of the comic book community. And I'm excited that we're doing it for pennies on the dollar compared to the C2E2 expenses. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. Let's get connected with the chat here again before we close out the show. No amount of money has ever bought a second of time. That is a amazing piece of advice, and something that we should talk about more, especially gently stroked the like button. Hashtag comics for life for sure. I don't think most of the artists are paid what their talent is worth half the time. I think you're right. I think content creators, just imagine being a professional YouTuber with 500 subs and trying to eke out a living and paying your family and paying yourself. Impossible. Even millions of YouTube subscribers. Can you imagine what the struggle could be like for a comic book artist or a letterer or a writer that's not like part of the big 2 or big 3? That's not a well-known name like Tom King or James Tynion the fourth. You know, imagine all those content creators that are out there creating comic book content that are scrapping and fighting like everybody else. Yeah, their talent is worth more than what they're getting paid for. I'll tell you that. But it's Women's History Month. It says Black History Month on that variant, so that's why I'm kind of like, nay, Marvel, you, what did you do? But I get what you're saying, Izzy. Ricky Marset, thanks for being here. Good to see you as well. Volsi, thank you for being here, new in the chat here tonight. Please consider being a subscriber. Actually, yeah, these regular shows, we don't require being a subscriber to the channel to be a part of the chat. So please remember to be a subscribe after the fact, or subscribe now while we're talking about that. Izzy has a membership program. It has perks, but I also help others. The purpose is to give back. Yeah, if I create a membership, I just don't know that I'll be able to spin myself up fast enough to create like custom emojis and create a lot of that stuff, unless that stuff is custom embedded in YouTube, and I don't know. I gotta find a way to make like custom emojis and make it fun to reward all the people in the live chat. That's kind of what I see on other YouTube channels that I kind of missed in here. Is the people that are here day in, day out, constantly, every week, that are members, that are part of this channel. It would be kind of cool to give them some perks, if it's only for $1 a month. Give them some custom emojis, give them some custom titles, some other really cool stuff. That would be a really fun rewarding. You're not really excluding others. We're still 100% inclusive, but we are able to reward people that wish to do that. that's something I think I might call upon some help for to figure out, like some of those little creating custom emojis and stuff like that. It would be fun. Whisper new in the chat. What do you think General Grievous knew during the battle over Croissant? Croissant. Oui. I just made a Star Wars planet French. Croissant. Regarding Sidious's plan, did he know Sidious was Palpatine as well? I don't know. I hope this isn't a Mandalorian spoiler or anything like that. I've not watched Mandalorian, so I'm going to move right along just in case this has anything to do with Mandalorian. Looks like you're at 1,500 subscribers. Yes, thank you, everybody. I did not do a post. I did not say anything. It's just kind of trucking along. I want to celebrate it. I want to do a 2,000 subscriber giveaway and celebration. I consider doing one at 1,500, but the channel has hovered just under 1,500 for 6-ish months, if not longer. Like that 1,400 to 1,500. It's taken half a year to gain that other 100 subscribers to get to 15. What we can do is work to gain another 500 to do a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. I've got a pile of stuff over here for that giveaway. We love to give back. Come on, Mama says absolutely, and it shows every week. What are a few of your favorite comic characters, Andy? The smiley face because he's trolling me. You guys know I love Punisher. Absolutely to die for. Punisher, original OG Punisher collector from the early 80s. I'm a massive Dr. Aphra fan. I love The Last of Us, massive Last of Us fan. And I'm also a mega fan of Saga, and we should do an update of the Saga collection because we are starting to work on a full graded run of Saga from 1 through 20 is where we're going to start, I think. All in CGC 9.8 if we can find them. Getting a little disheartened, though, because when something isn't talked about very often, people don't put stuff up for sale no matter what the price is, whether it's $20 or $200. People don't post Saga books, have not been posting Saga books on sale for sale online much of anywhere because of the long hiatus. Because people aren't talking about something, there's not really a drive to search for it or to purchase it. So it's been really hard to work on the Saga collection, but we're working on it. Villain or hero? We're hero all day. We are heroes all day in one form or another to everybody. Yeah, C2E2, we will miss you. I will miss you too. I'm looking forward to the pictures, though. Definitely looking forward to the pictures, Mama. C2E2 is Chi-Town and MegaCon in Orlando this weekend. Yes. That was a very confusing thing. C2E2 last year was August, and then they just decided to pick the same weekend as MegaCon and just battle it out. Like, I know the owning entities of those conventions are different entities, but like, wouldn't you want to work together even with your competitors to say, hey, we're doing it this weekend. If we compete on this weekend, we're just going to divide the amount of people in this country that are going to be able to go to conventions. Like, there's going to be attendance at C2E2 is going to be down. I know it is for sure because you got MegaCon in Orlando happening at the same time. And it's way nicer in Florida right now than it is Chicago. Chicago's cold and windy. Let's go to Florida. Good gravy. Not to offend anyone, but there isn't anything good about going to Chicago. I like the skyline. I like the people. I like the food. I like the city. I like to visit the city life like Chicago. I couldn't imagine living in a city, though. Enough about me. Shop, yes, wheelchair still here, hanging tight in the chat. We're looking at different cons for 2024. We are doing that as well to kind of see, because what I'm finding out is if you open your horizons and look a little bit deeper into that bag of conventions that's happening in a year, you'll meet so many more portions of the community. That's not to say I don't want to see Come On Mom and other people at C2E2 every year, but man, would it be amazing to go out to California and do a con out in California, or a con in Nevada, or a con over by JP in Minnesota, I think. That's why we're branching out. We're going to North Carolina to see Heroes Con. There's also a couple of conventions down by Two Brothers every year that we've been wanting to go to that are just out of drivability. Actually, that's the other reason why. Kyle, yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hope to see you on the weekly here. We do content, try to do Monday nights. Right now, we're on a short break from Monday nights. Tuesday nights is Comic News Weekly here, where we want to talk about what's happening in the pop culture and comic book community events, as far as news about Disney, news about Marvel, DC, what's going on that could potentially be affecting the things that we like to read, collect, and hold on to, like comic books and video games and movies. That's what we like to do Tuesday night, Comic News Weekly, with that panel here on this channel. Thank you again to Brian of Simple Mints Comics for passing that torch for the short term while Brian takes a creative break from his channel. Don't unsubscribe from Simple Mints Comics. He's still there. His content's all still there. Brian's just kind of taking a creative mental break or a mental pause. Not my brain. No, my brain don't pause, but Brian's just taking a little bit of a break from the creative side of things for now. So we appreciate Brian and being a part of us with this channel over here and allowing us to carry that torch for Comic News Weekly, a show that panel on Tuesday nights has been together for more than a year and a half now. Comic News Weekly is a show that we've been doing for more than a year and a half, and that's hard to wrap my head around. It's been so much fun. Thanks again for your picture, he says. I do not think General Grievous knows that I'm going to keep moving on. I have not watched any of the Star Wars shows this week. I want a croissant, ham, and cheese now. So do I. No spoilers attached to Grievous. The question to this one, what did Dooku know during the battle over Coruscant? Was his death an opportunistic one or part of Palpatine's plan? That's deep level right there, Whisper. I appreciate deep level questions like that. But we are over the hour mark for Comic News Weekly, so that's something we're going to have to save for another time, another channel. Please follow me on Instagram and send messages on Instagram for content like that where we can do shows for Star Wars related. I'm not the biggest Star Wars person out there. I am a big Star Wars fan, but when it comes to creating Star Wars content, there are a lot of great YouTubers out there that do a way better job than I could, but I would try my hand in it because it'd be a lot of fun. Anytime, Kyle. Enjoy seeing your videos. Absolutely. Saga, never heard of it. Oh, God. Today's Mandalorian episode has Ricky, no spoilers. Do you think Obi-Wan's encounter with Vader in the new series negates the dialogue they have in A New Hope, which indicates they haven't met since? Boy, deep cuts, Whisper, deep cuts. We gotta do another. We gotta do a show about Star Wars to answer some of those deep cuts. Paper Chase, what is up? Just tune in, playing catch up on the stream. Dropping my link below. Yes, everybody, make sure you're following Paper Chase and everybody else that's in the chat that's a content creator tonight. It was part of Palpatine's plan to turn Anakin. There you go. That's New Comic Book Day. We've gone over the books twice. We've gone over announcements. Please make sure you're subscribing and don't miss out. 9 p.m. this Friday, live CGC unboxing. We're going to unbox those Ultimate Fallout 4 first printings that we had cracked and pressed with Red Hood Comics. And we'll have Red Hood here as a guest to talk about that process. Because what I really want to do is take a very long look. For all of you guys out there that did not get a copy of Ultimate Fallout 4 that are Miles Morales or are Spider-Man fans, is now the time to consider getting in? Are we seeing that bottom plateau? Are we seeing that dip low enough now? Because we saw that book absolutely skyrocket over the past 2 years and then start coming back down. So we sent them out. We've got them back. And now we want to kind of take a look at pricing on GPA, not pricing, but sales information on GPA. We want to take a look at asking prices on eBay, kind of take an opinion, kind of take a poll with the community out here and talk about, is now potentially the market starting to settle a little bit? Would now be that time to see about picking up an Ultimate Fallout 4? I'm not saying run out and buy the first 9.8 you see for $1,800 or $1,700 or $1,600, whatever it's going for. But what I'm saying is you want to build your collection affordably. So now might be that time to look for that 8.5 or that 9.0 or that 9.2 or that 9.4, whatever fits into your budget as a collector. And now might be that time to consider having it cracked and pressed by a professional. You never know. It's a rhetorical question in the moment that I want to talk a little bit more about this Friday, and we want to give that community book, do that community giveaway show or giveaway at after the unboxing. So we'll have Red Hood Comics here. That's going to be 9 p.m. Friday. Don't forget all the other great comic book collectors and content creators out here. Uncle Skeff is down at MegaCon, so pay attention to Uncle Skeff's IG Instagram feed to see what's going down and all the cool posts and photos from MegaCon. I miss him dearly. I can't wait to see him again soon. Have a great night, everybody. Yes, and we will close it out here with our usual parting shot. I want everybody here to remember that you are enough. You guys, each and every one of you, are the most important thing about this all day, every week. Yes, Eastern Standard Time, Rob, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on this channel, Friday night. But you guys are the most important thing all day, every day, every week here. And what you guys bring to the table and your energy is absolutely fantastic. You are enough. But more importantly, the most important thing I want people to remember is stay original and take care of each other, because we are all we have. That is no joke. In the short amount of time that we have on this world, take care of each other, because we would have nothing if it weren't for each other, right? So I'm going to go peace out. I'm going to go peace out. I'm going to go pinkies out. I'm going to catch you all on the flip side, and we will see you guys Friday night for that. I'm nervous as hell for that CDC unboxing because they've been beating us up. See you guys Friday.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.
Excuse me while I change. The roller buggy has made me sweaty. Yeah, sweaty.